Hi everyone, thanks for joining this session on the future of development tooling. We are two speakers today, Stéphane Lemeur and myself, Mélanie Batz, to share our vision and plans about Eclipse J and Eclipse Sirius.
And it's funny to take a little bit of a step back and see how far we are coming on this very long journey. And while our engineering discipline is very young, it seems that we are coming from a long time ago in a galaxy that is far, far away, where we were using Punch to write programs like this. But finally, we evolved a little bit and we went into those kind of things. And actually, that was probably a little bit not that cute at that time, because here there is syntax coloration, which is kind of cool. And then we changed to, we have new paradigm, such as object-oriented programming. And we finally see first IDEs, and all of us had a different approach and a different experience with our first IDE. But it's funny, because at that time, in 1995, the IDE were not really well received by the developers because they were thinking it will fence their creativity. Really? Not really, in fact, because what we did is that we built more. We built even much more IDEs. We built Eclipse, IntelliJ, Visual Studio, NetBeans, Xcode, and all of this to help us to bring value to the product that we are building. All of this to be more productive. And the goal, of course, is to help to unleash our complete potential. But what are we doing today? And we will be really cautious here, but mostly a developer today, he works mainly on his local host. He code, build, test, run, and debug his application on his local environment. And he codes only on few set of technologies, only few set of languages. And you have all those different species of developers between Ruby, Java, the web developer, and the COBOL one, which still survive, in fact. So what are the trends? And what are we seeing in our developer environments at this moment? And we saw previously the most used IDEs, the classical one, but what is arising?
Today, a new generation of IDEs are arising. The developers are looking for a new kind of tooling. They want these tools to be lightweight to download, simple to install, offering powerful tooling, but also providing easy way to customize them. And they want to get continuous improvements available thanks to high release cadence. In 3 years, VS Code becomes the most popular IDE. In the Stack Overflow 2018 developer survey, Visual Studio Code was ranked the most popular developer environment tool, with 35% of 75,000 respondents claiming to use it. Its advantages: small download size, a light and modern flat UI, a huge marketplace offering lots of extensions, a simple way to contribute new extensions. For example, thanks to the language server protocol, it is easy to contribute new language support. And finally, a new version is released each month.
And there's other light editors as well. So we all know Sublime, we all know Atom, and those tools are pretty simple. They are not doing a lot of things, in fact. But what they are doing it very well. So they have a fast editing experience, they are super fast to start and to load, and easy to extend and add few packages. And it's also interesting to see that those light editors are becoming more and more richer. So for example, Atom recently had the support for the language server protocol, and even if the support is still light, it is still interesting to see them moving towards this direction. And in fact, there is also another trend, and it's about the Cloud IDE. And it's very interesting to see how the mindset of developers shift since the last 5 years. And the last 5 years I was speaking about Cloud IDE, in fact, And at that time, the questions that we were having from the developer, first, they were very skeptical, and the question we were having were about is it handling something different than CSS and HTML? Is it also having a debugger? How fast it is? Is it reactive, responsive? All those kind of things. And in fact, 5 years ago, we were already having that. But the reaction of the developer was a little bit still not yet ready or not yet convinced that it will happen one day. But today, it completely changed. When you have to speak about, when you are speaking about browser IDE or tools that are running directly inside of the browser, the perception of the developer completely changed and completely shift. So the mindset and the reaction change, and there is no so much surprises, and it even seems as a natural evolution, such as the one from Google Doc, for example. And in fact, there's new cloud IDEs that are released every week. And this is one that I really like. It's called Code Sandbox. It's a dedicated IDE, cloud IDE, which is for web technologies and React, more particularly for React.
The last emerging one in the Eclipse community is Eclipse SIA. SIA is a cloud and desktop IDE. As it is based on Electron, it can run your IDE in the browser as well as a desktop application. And as it supports the language server protocol, it can provide support for multiple languages. Last point, it provides a modern UI as it is based on modern JavaScript UI libraries and is implemented with modern technologies like TypeScript, CSS, and HTML.
And of course, there is Eclipse Che, which is providing a broader set of capabilities with the goal to allow anyone to contribute to a project without having to install anything on his local machine. And the idea of the project is really to accelerate projects and onboarding of developers, because if you don't have to install anything, then you can save the time that you are spending on setting up your local environment into building the features that you need for your product and creating value. It also has the goal of removing the inconsistencies of but the famous but it works on my machine, which is kind of usual when we are working as developer, and protect the source code from being on the local host of the developers. There are some environments where it's not something that is really wanted by the companies. So really, Eclipse Che provides a cloud workspace server. It manages the workspaces for all your developers. It has multi-user and multi-tenancy capabilities. A developer can have multiple workspaces. They are all isolated from each other, and you can instantiate them when you need it. And Eclipse Che will orchestrate and manage those developer workspaces for you and your developer teams. And the way we do that is that we redefine the concept of a workspace. And inside of a Che workspace, you have the browser IDE. Today it is a JWT-based IDE, but we are moving to integrate TIA as the default IDE inside of a Che workspace. You also have the project source code and the runtimes. And by runtimes, I mean all the dependencies that you need in order to code, build, test, run, and debug your application. And those runtimes are provided by containers. So each tool gets its own container. The IDE itself is running in its own container. And that's the same for the language server, for example, the debuggers and the test tools. So what are the benefits of running the tools inside of a container? And if we take the example of a language server, and the JDT language server, for example, it is available on VS Code. If you want to have it running properly with VS Code, you still have to install the JDK on your local machine. You still have to configure it properly. Having each tool providing their own container allow to bring all the dependencies that are required to make the JDT language server running. So when you add and enable the Java support inside of Che, you just spin off a container which is bringing all the dependencies that you need for the language server. So you don't have to worry about installing the JDK at all. That's not something that you have to worry about. So when you need a different version of Java, if you want to switch from one version of Java to another one, you just have to replace the container that is provided with your workspace. So you don't have to mess with the configuration of the proper JDK on your local machine. And of course, there are also other aspects, such as the scalability and the flexibility, since it's running inside of containers on cloud infrastructures such as Kubernetes, OpenShift, or even Docker Swarm. You can make the tools scaling very easy. So I have a small demo to show how it works inside of Che. So maybe I can increase the quality. No, it's already. So here I am inside of a Che workspace, and you can see at the bottom that I have two containers, and inside of my editor I have auto-completion for TypeScript and all the support for TypeScript. If I'm going into my dashboard, I can see that I have a TypeScript language server container, and if I'm giving a look at what this container is, it is a node-based image where we install the TypeScript language server in it. And then what we have is that we open some ports for the communication between the language server container and the IDE itself. Of course, all the containers have access to the source code of your project. So in a Che workspace, you just leverage the tools that you want when you need them. You don't have to worry about installing them. And you can even replace the IDE if you want and bring your own tooling. That's what SAP is doing. For example, they are using Che workspaces and they use their own browser-based IDE that they built on Orion. And they create dedicated workspaces and workbenches, in fact.
Dedicated workbenches for dedicated tools associated to specific tasks. At Hobio, we are used to develop such kinds of tools for our customers. Today, it is mostly based on RCP applications, and thanks to the Eclipse platform, it is already possible to create dedicated applications. It exists various kinds of dedicated workbenches, for example, to analyze memory, or dedicated to specific domain, as here we developed a workbench dedicated to enterprise architecture. All these dedicated workbenches are set up locally. Usually, we as developers, we do not like that something updates our workbench. My IDE is like my home sweet home. We keep protecting it from external attacks like plugin updates or new technology set. And in the end, we install all we need in one unique place. And so we work daily with heavy tools. You need to execute one small task, you use for that your complete IDE. But you use just a small piece of it, but we think that already exists. We think that there is a lot of value in getting tools available on demand which let anyone contributing to a project. I have a task, I have the tool I need, I complete my task, I don't need the tool anymore. I have to come back to the task, I can reinstantiate the tool if needed. That would be crazy cool, and in fact that is heavily needed. But if we take a step back, the way we are building applications is changing. In a cloud development survey made last year by Evans Data, there are two big trends for developers today. First, 66% of enterprises are adopting containers. Second, developers are using more and more different languages. This impacts quite heavily the way we are building applications as well. We are now speaking about microservices-based application and also serverless application. One of the tremendous benefits of those architecture is to split the application into smaller chunks, smaller components and modules, which are completely autonomous and which are getting their own life cycle. And all of this running into containers, so your application can easily leverage the power of the cloud. So in many ways, the way we architect application has changed, has evolved along with the methodologies we are using, but our developer tools have mainly stayed stuck, heavy, and kind of monolithic. Our tools should really help us being more agile. They should help us to iterate faster and focus on creating value. Of course, that would also facilitate the team collaboration when sharing workspaces, doing pair programming sessions, and generally providing live collaboration. For example, in a graphical model editor, we want to provide live collaboration to allow people to collaborate on a model as they do on pair programming with code. So here we see that we have two different browsers connected to the same serious server on the same diagram. And if we create an element from one side, we see directly the updates on the other browser. This way, we can provide a live view that allows users to work collaboratively on a model. So, we think, in fact, that the concept of IDE is evolving. In the future, we will have more accessible tools and better tool integration. We will get the tool dedicated to a specific usage and so a specific user. In the end, tools should become highly agnostic. We'll have more and more tools dedicated to specific domains. These tools will be available more broadly for various kinds of users and for any kind of platforms. We need frameworks to ease the creation of such specific tools dedicated to one usage. That's why we believe in framework